This morning, we go one-on-one with DC's Attorney General about those new restaurant fees so many of us are seeing these days. Environmental surcharges, back of the house fee, and what is a wellness fee? This morning, Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Flack shows us what you can do to fight the so-called tipflation.
You might have noticed something new on the menu in Washington, D.C.
I had a question about my bill. What's the supply increase fee?
Can I ask you a quick question? What's an administrative or admin fee?
I'm just curious what this environmental fee is. I've never heard of that.
Whether it's a 4% wellness fee for a, quote, employee benefits program, or a 5% restaurant recovery charge to, quote, help cover pandemic-related losses and debts, frustration is growing among customers.
We were receiving complaints from people in the community who were receiving bills, fees that they either didn't understand, that were confusing and vague, or fees that they were not alerted to before they ordered.
Which is why D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwab issued this consumer alert, warning D.C. restaurants are barred from charging deceptive fees by burying the fee in the fine print, failing to disclose how much the fee is until the bill comes, use the fee for something other than what they say it's for, or use ambiguous or misleading language about how the fee will be used.
Do these restaurants have the right to charge us these fees?
The short answer is yes.
The Restaurant Association of Metropolitan Washington is working with D.C. Council on legislation that would set guidelines for restaurant fees, which it says are a product of an industry still reeling from the pandemic and anticipation of tipped worker wage increases approved by D.C. voters and set to begin phasing in this May. Here's how a server at the Colada shop explained their 2% supply increase fee.
Everything has become more expensive, so it's kind of just to offset, like instead of raising all the menu prices, to like offset the higher cost of ingredients.
So they don't raise menu prices, they just charge us an extra tax.
Yeah, that's...
In fact, Schwab told us there's really nothing in the consumer protection laws that require uniformity with these restaurant fees.
What's important here is that restaurant owners can charge different fees. They can call the fees things different depending on how they want to run their business. They just have to make sure that their consumers know in advance what they're paying for.
Now, we do want to reiterate, all the restaurants we went to did disclose their fees up front as required by law. And late yesterday, we spoke with the director of operations at the Colada shop. Annie, he told me that fee they charge is a temporary solution, at least they hope. They hope to eliminate it when their costs for things like paper goods and cleaning supplies come down.
Wow, this is so eye-opening, and it makes me wonder, what can we do when we go out to dinner to protect our rights? What can we do?
Annie, I think it's really just about making sure that you're proactive. Here's what the AG told me. First, you really want to make sure that restaurant fees are not hidden, that those fees are clearly disclosed in advance, either on the menu or by the server up front when you order. Anybody who feels that they were surprised or misled by a fee on their bill should contact the Attorney General's office and file a complaint.
In your story, I found it riveting when you were inside a number of those DC restaurants and you actually confronted and asked about those fees.
Yeah, this is going to be a comfort level thing. I asked if I could have the fee removed at Proper 21K. They did it without objection. The director of operations at the Colada shop said their managers are instructed to do the same thing. If in fact you ask to have the fee removed, you can have it removed. The Attorney General told us they're under no obligation to remove these fees if they charge them legally. It's really on a case-by-case, operation, restaurant-by-restaurant situation. So up to you if you want to ask to have them removed.
Okay, well, it all goes back to what you first said, proactive, being proactive, and now you all know that this is happening. Thanks to Eric.
Know
great
your
work.
rights.
Yeah, great job. All right.